Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Trades Talk, your friendly neighborhood industrial stream. And yes, as you can tell by the title of the stream, get it started. What are we getting started? We're starting up the whole plant facility. That's right. Shutdown is over. Things are repaired and replaced. And it's time to start the whole process for making product. That's right. So that's what we're doing. That's what I was doing all day yesterday. It was a long 12-hour day starting up the facility. So that's what I did all day yesterday. Very exhausting. But we'll get to that later. This is your industrial stream. We're going to start out by taking a look at things from an industrial point of view. We'll look through some articles. We'll look through some news and of what's happening out in industry. And then we'll get to everybody's favorite time, picture time. And we'll also look through one of the fatalities that happened on the job site. So stay tuned for that. As I get set up here, I just want to say hello to you, DJ Ronnie G. How you doing, DJ? And David Glenn. Nice to see you, David. And you can see I threw a poll up there over on YouTube. The poll is, do you work on your vehicle? And years ago, I would have said yes. More recently, no. I personally do not work on my vehicle. I am not an auto mechanic. Also, I don't have a place to do it. So it's easier just to get it done at a garage that I trust. And they do a good job, and I'm happy with that. You should disable some of your startups. You'd be done sooner. Oh, you. All right, let's get on to the news here, courtesy of Plant Magazine. Yes, they actually updated their site, so now we have news to talk about. And the first one I saw was something about battery technology. It says the battery technology market is expected to reach US dollars of $256 billion by 2034. So in 9 years, it's supposed to reach that. I don't know if they'll tell us what it is right now, but projections are always pretty much just guesses. They're just guessing. When you have to drop the engine to replace the starter, it's not worth it. Do it yourself. I agree, David. 100%. Alrighty, let's have a look here. The global battery technology market size is expected to be worth over $256 billion by 2034. Increasing from $140 billion in 2026, growing at a CAGR of 7.76% in that period, says a Precedence Research report. Okay, this is just a report. They're just guessing. This is all just speculation. There's no hard evidence it's going to be worth that much by 2034. You don't know. A myriad of things can happen from between now and then. But right now it says it's $140 billion. So it's supposed to double? Man, oh man. The report attributes market growth primarily to the increasing adoption of electric vehicles and the rapid where are these guys coming? We just saw stories that I reported on last week and the week before that their battery plants aren't getting built. The auto industry is scaling back on their electric vehicles. Like, where are these guys from? Like, what are they even watching? Probably not. Growth in consumer electronics, industrial automation, and digitalization will also contribute to the need for improved battery technologies. Asia Pacific led the global market in 2024 with approximately a 40% share, with North America projected to be the fastest growing region during the forecast period. By product type, lithium-ion batteries held the largest share in 2024, while lead-acid batteries being expected to grow at a notable rate moving forward. They didn't mention the sodium batteries. Apparently, those are supposed to take everything by storm and make a big impact. These sodium batteries. I'm interested to see what goes on there. When examining industry use, the automotive market held the largest share in 2024, with the consumer electronics segment expected to expand significantly from 2025 to 2034. The report lists high manufacturing costs driven by expensive raw materials and complex production processes as significant pain points in the industry. Yes. They didn't even mention that of the lack of people to want them, or the need or the demand. So these guys, right away, there's no credibility in them because they just don't. Did they not read the same things I read? No more. They're not starting up battery factories. They're not. The auto industry is scaling back. Like, these guys are out to lunch. Consultants are like ChatGPT and Grok. Tell you anything you want to hear. Yes, exactly. Hey, pay me enough. I'll tell you what you want to hear. What's that? You want me to do some research on why this is good? Okay, I'll tell you why this is good. Oh, yeah, there you go. How do you feel now? This one, the steel industry pins hopes on Buy Canadian in budget, but that won't solve all the woes. Yeah, the Prime Minister, Moron Carney, decided to do the budget since he got elected. So this is the first budget he's doing since he got elected, and I guess we'll see if it's any good. I doubt it. Let me see here. Come on, fire it up. There we go. So it starts out, zero profit projects, canceled contracts, halted development plans. In a year that has gone from bad to worse, steel fabricators are now pinning their hopes on possible Buy Canadian provisions in the upcoming federal budget, though such a shift would only offer limited protection from punishing U.S. tariffs. At a conference in Montreal this week, makers of steel products ranging from beams to nuts and bolts said U.S. President Donald Trump's 50% levy on steel imports has already inflicted hefty financial losses. It's really hard having a neighbor downstairs that is kind of going on with his impulses, said Veronique Roy, president of Logiciel Meganis, which sells software used in the design of steel structures. Hey, Salver, how you doing, man? Nice to see you. We're just going through some of the news of the week here, seeing how things are going. We're talking about the steel industry. You're not Canadian, David, just like Carney. Can you be Prime Minister or President? Probably. Yeah? Yeah, I'd vote for you, David, just because it's like, hey, I like your politics, so yeah, I'm voting for you. Yeah, DJ, oui. Oh. But you have to speak the French if you want to be the Canadian Prime Minister, eh? You don't have to speak very good, but you at least have to know the words. She said her clients are losing contracts mostly from the United States. Keenan Loomis, who heads the Canadian Institute of Steel Construction, said he believes the federal government will mandate at least some Buy Canadian measures for public contracts in the Liberal budget next week. I'm hopeful after the budget is handed down that we're going to have a significant change federally that then will also flow down into the provinces and then the municipalities, Loomis said in an interview at a Montreal hotel. Hey, what's up, B17? How you doing? Difference between Canada and the USA. If the US government shuts down, it's noticeable, but when the Canadian government shuts down, that's just how it normally is. I don't know if they've ever shut down. I'd have to look into that. Also, we don't really care if the government shuts down. It's like, yep, so what? Big deal. But the private sector accounts for the vast majority of spending on domestic steel. Meanwhile, suppliers at home also face the threat of being undercut by cheaper American imports and dumping of foreign steel into the Canadian market at artificially low prices. They have few places to turn, said Loomis. It's hard for us to imagine going to any other foreign market other than the U.S. because it's right there. Steel is notoriously hard to haul cheaply over long distances due to its weight. The impact of U.S. duties on steel and aluminum imports from across the globe, which doubled to 50% in June, has hit unevenly across the country. In Ontario, the steelmaking hubs of Hamilton and Sault Ste. Marie reeled after the tariffs reduced shipments and upended supply chains in the auto, construction, and consumer goods sectors. In Quebec, steel fabricators who cut, weld, and fit pre-made steel products churned out by big mills, such as ArcelorMittal, Dofasco, and Algoma Steel, rely heavily on work south of the border. The door has been shut for many of them. Why did YouTube hide B-17's comment? I don't know. Hey, Veritex, how you doing? You voted yes that you'll try to do things to work on your own vehicle, but there are many things you don't have enough training or knowledge or tools to do it. Sometimes, yeah, and that's fine, Veritex. I've asked that question for a reason, and it'll come up later on in the show. Just that I asked if you guys do you work on your own vehicles? I used to, but not anymore. When you need your headlight bulbs replaced, you figured out how to do them yourself. When you need battery replaced, you do it yourself. The car's got a weird box for the air filter, though. Ah, yes. Some stuff is easy to do. Some stuff, like David said earlier, when you got to drop the engine to change the starter, that's just absolutely asinine. Let's see here. Okay, here's where we picked up that. At Merritt Industries in Halifax, the metal fabricator is shouldering the entire cost of the tariffs on the projects that are already underway in the U.S., leaving zero profit, said CEO Tim Houtsma in an interview. We've been super busy, but we're not going to make any money because that amount has to come out of our bottom line, he said, noting the decision was a strategic one to maintain business relationships. Now our customers are hitting pause on projects, said Houtsma, whose company employs 165 workers across the Atlantic provinces. In July, Prime Minister Mark Carney announced tighter rules around steel imports in a bid to protect Canada's domestic industry from dumping, on top of a 25% tariff on American steel earlier this year. The steel industry has long pointed to the dumping problem, with offshore imports climbing from 19% of the Canadian market in 2014 to 39% in 2022, according to the Canadian Steel Producers Association. Well, then don't let them do it. Stop letting China dump their cheap steel here. Like, what's the matter with you guys? Oh, B-17, you just don't have a car? I mean, there you go. Fair enough. What do we got here? X Energy opens new manufacturing facility as part of U.S. expansion. NGen partners with emissions reporting platform to support Canadian manufacturers. Canada announces $6.4 billion in critical minerals investments and partnerships. Oh, okay. That seems interesting. Working on cars was easy when there was enough room in the engine bay for a family of 5. Yeah, so true. The one that always brings me back to that is the 1979 GMC trucks. You open up the hood and it's just like, oh, I can crawl right in the engine bay. I'm gonna be just fine working here. Come on. There we go. Okay, so this is all about mineral investments. This, let's see how interesting this is. Canada's announced 26 new investments and partnerships worth $6.4 billion to accelerate the development of secure and resilient critical mineral supply chains, the federal government said Friday. See, in that way, we won't have to rely on China or any of those places for minerals. We shouldn't anyway. We should be able to get them out of our own country. The announcement was made by Tim Hodgson, Minister of Energy and Natural Resources, on the sidelines of the G7 Energy and Environment Ministers meeting in Toronto. The measures marked the first round of strategic projects under the Critical Minerals Production Alliance, an initiative launched through Canada's G7 presidency to strengthen supply chains for resources vital to clean energy, advanced manufacturing, and defense. Okay. The new projects aim to mobilize both public and private capital to boost production of critical minerals such as graphite, rare earth elements, and scandium. Canada also signed off-take arrangements and co-investment partnerships with 9 allied countries: France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Luxembourg, Norway, the United States, Australia, and Ukraine. Among the specific partnerships announced were off-take agreements between the Government of Canada and Nouveau Monde Graphite and Rio Tinto for graphite and scandium, respectively. I don't think I've ever heard of scandium before. Graphite, of course, but not scandium. Downside to those huge bays is that you pop it open one day and there's a raccoon, a squirrel, and probably a chimpanzee in there somehow living off the engine heat. Yeah, David, you see Rio Tinto? Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of Rio Tinto before. As part of the G7's Critical Minerals Action Plan, or CMAP, Minister Hodgson also released the roadmap to promote standards-based markets for critical minerals, a key deliverable following the G7 Leaders Summit in Kananaskis, Alberta. That's down south for you guys that don't know. In addition, the federal government will provide up to $20.2 million to support international R&D collaborations focused on innovation in critical minerals. That's it? Only $20 million? To further enhance the national security, Canada intends to use the Defence Production Act to stockpile key minerals, ensuring secure supplies for Canadian allied defence industries. The move will also support Arctic sovereignty, strengthen domestic production capabilities, and contribute to NATO's deterrence and defense objectives. Okay. I don't mind if they're stockpiling stuff for us to use. Don't rely on the foreign supply, that's for sure. Rio Tinto is always bought during mining debates here in Minnesota. You forgot who really owns that mine? Oh, yeah. Federales, vámonos! It's okay, DJ. Canada is moving to secure the critical minerals that power our clean energy future, advanced manufacturing, and national defense, said Minister Hodgson. Through the Critical Minerals Production Alliance and the G7 Critical Minerals Action Plan, we are mobilizing capital, forging international partnerships, and using every tool at our disposal to build resilient, sustainable, and secure supply chains. These investments are foundational to Canada's sovereignty, competitiveness, and leadership in the global economy. Might as well just hand the workers a DeWalt hand drill and tell them to get drilling with only $20 million, no PPE because we couldn't afford it. I mean, when you're doing R&D, you need lots of money for research and development to make any kind of meaningful strides forward. You're going to cheap out on your R&D, you're not going to get very far, and other countries that do spend money are going to surpass you. So it just makes me shake my head like, what's the matter with you guys? You know, supply them with the money so you can make, meaningful discoveries and make that R&D pay off. This seems just frivolous, just throwing away, just putting a little bit in there. Nothing's going to happen. You're not going to make those strides that you need to be on top. Let's see. Feds will unveil proposed changes to EV sales mandate this winter. Oh, this ought to be good. Everyone loves a good EV story, don't you? Let's see what they're going to do now. If they bring back the subsidy that they were giving for people to buy cars, obviously the sales of those cars are going to go up because people want the subsidy. They want the government to pay for it instead of them. The federal government will unveil proposed changes to its electric vehicle sales mandate this winter, federal officials said Monday. Mark Cauchy, Director General of Energy and Transportation at Environment and Climate Change Canada, told MPs on the House Commons Environment Committee his department is looking to share the results of its highly anticipated review of the mandate by the end of the year. Yeah, DJ. Yay, volting machines. Or are they revolting? I'll show myself. Starting next year, manufacturers are supposed to ensure that 20% of all cars, SUVs, and light-duty trucks sold are zero-emission vehicles, including plug-in hybrids. The sales targets under the current mandate are supposed to increase steadily each year, rising to 60% by 2030 and then 100% by 2035. Yeah, good luck with that. Did another parking lot of electric buses go up in flames? Oh, I don't know. We'll have to see. On September 5th, Prime Minister Mark Carney abruptly paused the rollout of the EV mandate for 2026 and launched a 60-day review of it. With U.S. tariffs hammering Canada's auto sector, Carney exempted carmakers from those sales targets for a year to help give them liquidity, though those carmakers also have called for the complete repeal of the sales mandate. There's no demand there. We keep hearing this. There's no demand, or very little. It's not as much as they wish it to be, and you can't wish your dreams true. You can't just wish it and hope it happens. The review will consider potential amendments to sales targets, including the 2035 standard, and will explore possible additional flexibilities, Cauchi told MPs on Monday, echoing the government's messaging on the review when it launched. Cauchi said the government will continue receiving feedback until Tuesday night when the 60 days expire. He said the department hopes to publish the results of the review before the end of the year and seek to finalize any amendments to the EV mandate in late 2026. More on Corny, your beloved. There you go. Yeah, B17, I'm with you on that one. During his opening remarks, Cauchi cited the success of EV sales mandates in other countries, noting that Norway will likely be the first country to achieve a 100% sales target by the end of the year. Yeah, we're not Norway. Just look at it. Look how tiny Norway is. Look how small the population is. We are not Norway. You can wish in one hand and in the other and see which one fills up. Yeah, that's for sure, David. Canada's automakers have long said the mandate set out unrealistic targets. Yes, that's completely unrealistic. They couldn't possibly meet given a lack of demand. There it is. We've been saying this already. Their demand is not there. EV sales in Canada hit a monthly high of 18% last year when the government was offering consumer rebates up to $5,000. See, there you go. But sales plunged after the government ended the popular rebate program when its funding ran out. The latest data from the Stats Canada shows EVs accounted for 8.77% of the new vehicle sales in August. 8%, everybody. Almost 9%. So out of every 100 vehicles, 9 were EVs. The rest were all internal combustion engine. Nice, reliable, gas-powered car. Federal ministers have said the government plans to reinstate some form of rebate program, but with no set date for their automakers, have said the promise of rebates is depressing sales because prospective buyers are waiting for them to return. I would tell them to just go buy a gas-powered car. Don't wait for the government to help you buy an overpriced EV, because they are way overpriced. Under the current mandate, manufacturers that don't meet their sales targets can buy credits from companies with surplus. Oh, there you go. It's just freaking money laundering. That's all it is. Oh, you can't meet your sales targets, but you can buy credits from other companies. That means nothing. That means nothing. You're giving other companies money. It's ridiculous. The Canadian Vehicle Manufacturers Association, which represents Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis, warned in September automakers could be on the hook for billions of dollars in credit purchases if Canada's electric vehicle mandate is enforced as written and sales don't ramp up. This is the government just ramming things through. They don't have any brains to see that it's not going to work. Oh, Vertex says, I feel like that offering the rebate on the initial purchase of EVs doesn't help the long-term longevity of such vehicles. There must be some assistance for the replacement. Oh, man, big time. You know it. Nobody thinks of the replacement cost for the batteries. It's going to be like half the price of what you paid for your car or more. You don't know if you'd say that ICE vehicles are more reliable simply because they run on gasoline, but it's a much more well-known. It is, yeah, it's been around for a long time. As long as you take care of it. Some vehicles last a long time. My last car I had was a Chrysler 300 from 2005, and I drove it like 380,000 kilometers, and it was still going when I sold it. So you just gotta take care of them. Regular routine maintenance. The regulations also allow car makers to invest in charging infrastructure to earn credits, 1 credit for every $20,000 invested. But the government capped that measure at 10% of a company's sales target, meaning automakers can't buy their way out of a deficit by simply building charging stations. Okay. On Monday, federal officials said changing the credit system is also on the table as part of the EV mandate. Are these compliance flexibilities such as the purchase of an infrastructure credit for $20,000? Is that the appropriate level? Said Megan Nichols, the Assistant Deputy Minister of the Environmental Protection Branch. Should it be something that is reconsidered to be at a lower level? Is it something that even effective at all? So all these things are on the table. Honestly, just stop trying to mandate these things. It's not going to work. Let it happen organically. All right, well, that's enough of news from Plant Magazine. Let's move along here. Here's an article from Orlando, Florida, from Spectrum News. OUC's free trades program aims to help fill Central Florida's skilled labor shortage. Central Florida's skilled labor shortage is hitting a breaking point. For every 3 tradesmen retiring, only 1 new employee is stepping in to take their place, according to the iBuild Central Florida and Orlando Utilities Commission. One local program is working to change that and help residents find new beginnings along the way. Craig Gordon moved to Orlando from Jamaica with his sons 2 years ago, looking for a fresh start. He graduated from the OUC-sponsored pre-application program, a free 4-month training that opened the door to a brand new career. I was in the construction field and I link electricity. I mostly work with electricity, he said. Hands-on physical labor. It's a bit of physical labor, but you do something that you love. You don't work a day in your what? Okay, this sentence structure is just terrible. The program aims to meet Central Florida's urgent need for skilled trades workers, teaching safety, math, carpentry, electrical, and plumbing skills while offering pre-certifications that help participants get ahead. Even though we train in the areas of electrical, plumbing, carpentry, and building and maintenance, what we have found is that even if you work in water distribution, the same skill set that it took to finish the pre-apprenticeship program actually shows that it has great results in other skilled areas as well, said Alandis Sims with the Orlando Utilities Commission. Sims said that more than 40% of OUC's workforce is nearing retirement, making programs like this one critical for Central Florida's future. Last year, we had about an 89% completion rate. People are being connected not just to training, but to jobs, Sims said. OUC hired Gordon after he graduated as an apprentice water technician. Nearly a year later, he calls it a fresh start. If you ever dream to work in utilities, go ahead. Do it, Gordon said. OUC officials said they hope to expand the program and offer even more opportunities in other trades. People who are interested can apply for the pre-apprenticeship training program. This article written by DEI. Yeah, it seems that way. Terrible. But there you go. A pre-apprenticeship program is a good idea. I myself did take a pre-apprenticeship program, and it gave you a little taste of everything. It was quite well done. Before I entered picked my final trade to take. But yes, a pre-apprenticeship program, very good idea. And it looks like Florida is in trouble. That's why they're doing this. So, what did they say? For every 3 tradesmen retiring, only one takes their place. That's not good. So if anybody's in the Florida area, Orlando, you can probably see what these guys are all about. And it's working in the utilities is a good idea. So if you're working in, like, say, fresh water supply or electricity supply for the county or the city or whoever you work for, if you get into the utilities, you shouldn't be worried about your job getting taken by AI or anything like that, because you're pretty much an essential service. Like if you work in wastewater or waste management or anything like that, you should be okay. You'll have a nice long career. And that's the one from Orlando. Next up, this one here. This is from Citizen Portal. Congress pushes for skilled trades to combat labor shortage. Okay, so this article was created by AI, summarizing key points discussed. AI makes mistakes, so for full details and context, please refer to the video for the full meeting. Report any errors so we can fix them. How about do it right in the first place and don't let AI do it? In a recent government meeting, lawmakers addressed the pressing issue of workforce shortages, particularly in skilled trades, emphasizing the need for enhanced vocational education and apprenticeship programs. The discussion highlighted bipartisan efforts to combat labor shortages through legislative initiatives aimed at recognizing and supporting non-degree post-secondary education. Representative Skolton and colleagues introduced the Honoring Vocational Education Act, which aims to formally acknowledge individuals completing job training programs, trade schools, and apprenticeships. This recognition is seen as crucial for validating the skills acquired outside traditional four-year college pathways. Additionally, the Small Business Workforce Pipeline Act was co-led to facilitate more apprenticeship opportunities with small businesses which are struggling to find qualified workers. Ranking member Mr. McGarvey noted that workforce shortages have become the top operational challenge for small businesses, surpassing concerns over inflation and supply chain issues. He pointed out that the misconception about a four-year degree as the only route to the middle class has led to chronic underfunding of vocational training programs. However, recent years have seen a resurgence in interest and investment in these areas, with apprenticeship enrollments in Kentucky alone increasing by 144% over the past decade. Well, good for you, Kentucky. The meeting underscored the importance of aligning workforce training with the demands of new job opportunities created by recent legislation, such as the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law and the CHIPS and Science Act. Lawmakers stressed the need for Congress to invest more in career and technical education to ensure that the workforce is adequately prepared for the evolving job market. Despite the progress made, concerns remain about the U.S. investment in workforce development, which lags behind other industrialized nations. The meeting concluded with a call for continued bipartisan support to strengthen workforce development initiatives, ensuring that all Americans have access to the training and opportunities necessary for success in today's economy. I mean, I know there's quite a few people on unemployment insurance and such. Maybe instead of having them just live on unemployment, have them learn a trade or something like that. If they want their check, tell them they must attend mandatory trade school or something like that. Maybe it's a little radical of an idea, but you need to have more. We all need to have more people with hands-on experience working with their hands on different types in different areas. So I think that would be a good idea. All right. Well, that's that one. Let's move along. Okay. As I started last stream, we're going to look at an accident that happened on the job. And we're going to see if we can determine what happened and ways to avoid it. So worker fatally injured when working under vehicle. This is why I asked you guys the question, do you work on your own vehicles? Because you can get hurt really bad. So there's a little bit of background information. So the contracting employer was G.J.&A Truck Service Repair. They provide automotive repair, maintenance work, and commercial vehicle inspections. At the time of the incident, G.J.A was a small business employing fewer than 10 workers. G.J.A contracted a self-employed mechanic helper to assist with work tasks around the shop. The mechanic helper was fatally injured in the incident. Okay. So the contractor, the main employer contracted and had a mechanic helper. No, this did not happen with me, B17. This is something that happened in Alberta. This was in January of 2024. The mechanic helper was assisting a G.J.A mechanic with a charter bus inspection for the commercial vehicle inspection program. And it tells you where the work site's located. So it was in a shop, looks like. There's the vehicle. You disconnected the drive shaft while underneath a Ford Pinto. It ran over your ankle and crashed into a pole. You were 17. Oh, David. Oh, man. Oh, man. It ran over your ankle, too. That sucks. Can we zoom in here? Yeah, we can zoom in a bit. Here we go. The vehicle from the incident was a white Prevost charter bus. The front wheels were connected to an air suspension system that could raise and lower the bus. There you go, right there. Okay, big, heavy bus. An AC hydraulic versus jack designed for commercial heavy-duty purposes was used to lift the front of the bus at the time of incident. The hydraulic jack was rated for 25 tons. Okay, 25 tons. That should be fine. There's the jack. Always chalk it up. Yes, David. Always chalk. On January the 9th, 2024, the mechanic helper was assisting a mechanic with a bus inspection. The mechanic helper had completed reinstalling all the tires on the bus when they became entrapped and pinned underneath the bus. The mechanic helper was fatally injured. Facts and findings. There were no witnesses to the incident. The mechanic and mechanic helper had a discussion of the day's work that involved completing the bus inspection and beginning repair work on a Kenworth truck. At approximately 3:30 p.m., the mechanic left the shop to get parts for the Kenworth truck. The mechanic helper was tasked with reinstalling the bus tires and beginning basic shop tasks for the Kenworth truck during this time. The bus was positioned on a flat paved shop bay. Okay. The mechanic helper completed the tire installation. 2 7-ton jack stands were available for use near the bus. It doesn't say they were under the bus, though. Hey, what's up, Godzilla? How you doing, man? The mechanic helper continued work underneath the bus. At approximately 5:30 p.m., the G.J.A worker escorted a visitor to see the mechanic helper when they found the mechanic helper unresponsive and pinned near and underneath the bus's front door. The workers called 911, started the bus, and used the bus self-inflating suspension to lift the bus. The mechanic helper was pulled out and first aid was initiated. The mechanism of injury, crushed by a bus. Yes. The likely cause, the bus dislodged because it was not properly supported while work was being conducted underneath. So there was the jack. Apparently, the jack stands weren't used, and always use jack stands. Don't trust the jack. They can fail. You don't know if they've been abused and the jack is no good, it'll fail and you'll get crushed like this guy was. Jack it up, put the jack stands underneath, and let the bus down or let the vehicle down on the jack stands. They are meant to take the weight. And if you're working on a vehicle, don't grab the smallest jack stand you can get. You're working on a big vehicle, grab some big jack stands. You're working on a car that's about 2,000 pounds. Okay, grab yourself a 1 ton or maybe 2 ton jack stand. You're working on a truck, it's going to be heavier. You're going to be 5,000 pounds. So grab a 3 ton jack stand or a 4, anything bigger. Obviously, they had 2, what did they say, 2 7-ton ones? Yeah, they had 2 7-ton jack stands. So 1 on each side. That's good for 14 tons. 28,000 pounds. Should be able to hold up the front of that bus, no problem. Don't laugh, even in the field, even in the IT field, we have this category of catastrophe that we try to prevent, that is being hit by a bus. Literally, that's what we, yeah. They don't stop on a dime. They're heavy, and that's a lot of steel hitting a human body. So it's catastrophic no matter what. GJ&A Truck Service and Repair implemented the following corrective actions to prevent reoccurrence of the incidents: regular maintenance and inspections of essential equipment, formalized hazard assessment from verbal to formal report when hazards change to prevent unsafe or unhealthy conditions, or when new work process or operation changes. Also, my take on this is you left the guy alone. It's a mechanic's helper. I don't know how much experience he had, or whether he was an apprentice or not. It didn't say. He's just a mechanic's helper. But you left him alone for 2 hours. That's not right. It may have still happened even if somebody was there, but hopefully not. Hopefully they would have said to him or whatever, like, hey, use those jack stands. The OHS completed the investigation and conducted a review for enforcement action. No charges were laid in relation to the incident. OHS notified the next of kin of the outcome and proceeded with file closure and the investigation summary completion. The key prevention messages: an employer must prepare a hazard assessment and control report that complies with the requirements in Part 2 of the OHS Safety Code. This includes identifying all existing or potential hazards. So for you guys that don't know what hazard assessment is you look at your job and you think to yourself, okay, well, what could go wrong here? What could go wrong here? What could go wrong here? And then what can we do to mitigate this? So that's what a hazard assessment is. You go through the job and you look at all the things that might possibly go wrong or things that can happen. And you're like, okay, well, we're going to do this to stop that from happening. We're going to do this to stop that from happening. And that's how you do that. And I know that because we do that all the time where I'm at. Where I work, hazard assessments. You do them, you look at all the things that can happen. There's even process safety engineers. So you got process safety engineers whose job is to come in and catastrophize things and see if they can't improve things to make them safer. So this is a big thing. Yes, Veritex, could be a buddy system failure, for sure. You left the guy alone. And when you're working alone, you have to be extra cautious, extra careful, because you've got no one there to help you if something should go wrong. So always take every precaution when you're working alone that you aren't going to get injured or hurt where you can't even save yourself. Okay, so this includes identifying all existing or potential hazards, identifying the measures taken to eliminate or control the hazards, involving affected workers in the hazard assessment and control process, and following the hierarchy of controls. If a worker can be injured by equipment or materials being dislodged, both the employer and worker must take all reasonably practical steps to ensure the hazard is eliminated or controlled. That's it. Product safety engineer equals buzzkill. And there you go. That's our accident of the week here, fellas. This this could have been prevented. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's awful lot of floor dry under there. And I'm pretty sure that's not for oil. So yeah. And it looks like the jack is still under there in this picture. Or there's an airline going to something. Yeah, I can't tell. It's an airline going to either a grease gun or something like that. Okay. Anyway, be careful when you guys are working on your cars. Double check what you're doing. Like David said before, get wheel chocks. Get some jack stands. Don't trust the jack. It can fail at any time. It can fail. It can fall over. Most people have those twisted jacks, like the ones on the screw that you crank up and it uses the screw action to lift it up. Those are terrible. They have a small base. Yeah, it could be air for his impact, but I wonder what he'd be impacting under there. Like, why would you climb underneath when you were putting the wheels on? There's a reason why you all go through annual training for all kinds of things, because certain risks are always going to be present, but we need reminding. Yes, Veritax, 100%. You do need a refresher course, which is why every 3 years, even though I work at a hydrogen sulfide plant, I go to hydrogen sulfide training because I have to be reminded that it's dangerous. And, you take a breath and you're dead, right? That's pretty much how it goes with hydrogen sulfide. You go, and then you're dead. That's it. Spend real money on your tools, like Jack said. Yes, Dave, 100%. I agree with you. Do not go get the cheapest pair of garbage from China. Get yourself some good quality stuff that's going to save your life. If you're working on your car or your truck, it's an investment in your life. So spend that extra cash, get something that's built super strong, and then you don't have to worry about it. It's going to sit there and it's going to hold up the weight, and you'll be safe and sound. And you'll be able to enjoy your life after the job's done. It almost looks like it's going to one of those bag jacks that the rescue people... Oh, maybe that... Well, no, they said they lifted the bus up with its own power and got him out. So I don't know. So what you're saying is you're wondering if they had to use a bag jack to help them out from under there, and that's what you're saying? I don't know. Maybe. Could be. It's a shame. It's a shame. It could have been prevented, just like a lot of accidents. Just remember that it's not worth it to cut corners or try to take shortcuts. It's going to get back to bite you. It might not do it now, but it might happen later. You'll get bit by taking a shortcut. You can skimp on 10mm sockets. You really don't ever own those outright. You're always losing them, or people are taking them from you. Anyways, that's the accident of the week. Yeah. If there's any takeaway of this from you guys, it's just invest that money in proper tools to help you live a long life. There's no reason to get crushed by your own vehicle and you become a statistic. Just, invest in tools and use them. If you have them, use them. You think to yourself, oh, it's going to take too long. Yeah, but it only takes a second for the thing to fall on you and crush you. So, what's it going to be? A couple seconds to go grab them? Or 1 second and you're done? You're maimed or injured for life when you could have just spent the time. Take the time, do it right. That's all I can say about that. Okay, well, let's head over to picture time. It's picture time. It's picture time. I know you guys are excited for this. We'll just go like this and like this. And we're not getting any spammers anymore, guys. I changed some of the settings over on Kick and Twitch so that you have to be a follower if you want to be in the chat. Huh? Nice. I like that. No spammers. It's really nice. Your most recent socket set came with 3 different variants of a 10mm socket, different lengths. It's weird. Well, you need those deep sockets, Veritech, sometimes. Yeah, Godzilla. It's like dealing with potentially hot wires. Checking voltage is always worth the time. Yeah. Even though I'm not an electrician, I do have a voltage checker I can use. Either a volt tick or a voltmeter. You know, even if I'm getting anywhere near some electrical stuff, check it. Is it live? Is it not live? That's exactly what you have to do. Okay, what do we got here? Okay, there we go. There's some Hokkaido gals. And if you're working in your garage or you're working outdoors, be mindful there could be things that aren't typical, like, for example, poisonous spiders, black widows, brown recluse. Yeah, that's something people never consider, Veritax. And you have to be reminded about that as well. If you're living in a place that has black widow spiders or brown recluse, things like that, you got to be extra careful. Look around. You know, is there a web? You know, take a peek, see what's in there. Nothing like you don't need to get freaking a venomous bite from those things. Chuck some scrap metal at it, figure out if it's dangerous or not by how angry the sparks are. Well, that's one way B-17. I wouldn't recommend it, but you know. Okay. We got a video for you guys. Let me just get this sorted out here. And we'll get that stretched as far as we can stretch it there. Okay. I'm today's video working on some hot oil pumps. Everything's shut off, everything's cold. So it's time to work on some hot oil pump. This is what supplies the entire plant with hot oil, which keeps the sulfur that we use in a molten state. So the oil is heated up to about 390 degrees Fahrenheit. And it runs through the plant, and by the time it gets where it needs to go, it's at that right temperature for sulfur. Because sulfur has a very small window of being liquid. If you go too cold, it freezes up and hardens. Or if you go too hot, it freezes up and hardens. So you have to be in that area of about 310 to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. So these are the ones that hot oil pumps in your area looking for love and care. There you go. First, we make sure it's locked out. As you guys see, I got my lock on there. So your lock is on the disconnect. And over here, there's some locks, and these are locked out as well. Everything's locked out. Guys, I always have to do it that way. There's no not locking out stuff on the job site. 390 Fahrenheit, you cook chicken wings in that oil? Yeah, you could. Be kind of disgusting because it's like the synthetic stuff, synthetic oil, so a lot of additives in there, poison you. Okay, I love my gear wrenches. If you guys can ever get a set of gear wrenches, do it because they're so handy. I got my laser on there so I can see where exactly my camera's pointing because Hard to tell sometimes. We'll just take this guard off. Nope. Actually, accidentally did a rewind there. Sorry about that. Get it back to where we were here. In your experience, you should use cooking oil instead of lubricating oil. You can't knock it till you try it. But there's also heating oil. That's what this stuff is, B17. It's for heat transfer. So yeah, I like these gear wrenches. They're really good. Get that out of there. Sometimes it's always a fight sometimes to get the bolts out of there. There we go. Don't lose the washer. Always keep it together. Okay, now we'll get the other side. So you got to hunch over the thing. Never use cooking oil to lubricate metal things like gears and such. It polymerizes and gums up everything. Yeah, it's not meant for lubricating. It'll have different properties for sure. That's ratchet. It is ratchet. No clank though. There we go. Guard comes off. Ta-da! There's the coupling with a fan attachment to help keep the pump cool. And then we'll take off the vibration monitor that monitors the bearings in the motor, or one in the motor and one in the pump. There's a lot of dirt. So we'll take a look here. There's a little catch basin to catch any excess oil that comes out of the pump. So we'll give it a little clean. Yeah, we'll take a. You can see because there's oil vapor, and it gets onto the housing, and then all the dirt collects on there because of the oil. You like to cut up plastic jug underneath the catch? Yeah, hey, professional, right? There we go. I think I took off my camera and set it to the side so I could do some work here. Hopefully get a good shot of me draining the oil. So first, we'll remove the drain plug on the bottom. Of course, they put it in the best spot to get at, as you can see. Okay, so it's coming. Now we'll catch the oil. You see how the pump is insulated? It's got a custom insulated jacket going around it. And that is to keep it from losing any heat. Just drain out all the oil there. Try to clean as you go. I'm cleaning up the plug right now. There we go. Yes, Godzilla bearing housing is finned, and the fan keeps it cool. The fan is an addition, an extra you can buy to attach to it to help cool off that pump. And I do get a close-up of the pump's nameplate, so you'll be able to see that towards the end of the video, I think. Oh, the second video. Ha. That was the first one. Okay, there we go. It's time to clean up a lot of this junk here. Because dust is a very good insulator, believe it or not. So you get rid of that. You don't need it. Oui la la. You could have gotten any haircut for free if you went to the factory. Put your head on the fan blade. Yeah. That's why we got the guard on there. You don't need anybody getting chopped up here. Keep everything clean. Wipe off your scraper. And then do the fan blades because they have a buildup on there. And you don't want to build up on your fan blades because that'll cause vibration because of the off balance. So try to scrape it down to get your keep your blades clean. And that's important as well. And I'm supporting that the blade because you can bend those very easily. So I'm providing some support on the back side of the blade. Like a good tradesman would, right? You got to do that stuff. Don't be the apprentice and just put all your weight on it. And you end up snapping off the blade and having to go tell your journeyman what you did. And then he'll just stare at you and shake his head. A little bit of brake clean. Help get rid of the oil. Oh, must be running out. Had to give the can the old shake. Yeah, it's empty. Lousy brake clean. I'll have to go get another can. So cleaning it up here. My radio microphone is, the wire is on, getting in the way there. There we go. The most important thing is try to keep things clean. Get everything clean. And that way you can see for problems as well. If things are all covered in oil and dirt and all the debris, you won't be able to catch any of the problems or see anything when you're looking at it. So if you clean it, then you're going to see stuff. Oh yeah, look, a crack or something else that will catch your eye. And you'll be like, oh, well, this is no good. I'm going to have to do something about that. Rather than just be like, oh, it's dirty, whatever. Just do yourself a favor and clean it up. Still, Fan Blade needs some more work, it looks like. Do a bit more cleaning on that. You'd be surprised, even though it's spinning, a lot of stuff gets stuck to it. And these things run 24/7. So this pump, obviously it's off during shutdown, but as soon as we start up, it runs 24/7 for 11 months. So it's got to be good. You got to make sure it's in good shape. You don't want a breakdown. We'll put that plug back in before we put oil in it. Yes, David, oil attracts dust and dirt. It totally does. It's like a freaking magnet. Just, you got oil on something, and then wait for a bit, and then the dust in the air, the dirt floating around, just right to it. So we'll give that a tighten there. Make sure it's good. We don't want it to leak. We also don't want to round it off because it's a square nut. And then we're going to fill it up, so we'll loosen off the top. And take that off. There's the filler. Loosen that. There we go. That just dirt, or is the weld on the support all rusted out? I think it's just dirt. I think the weld's okay. So I've grabbed my brand new funnels. Like, here we go. Yeah, we'll use that one. That one, and that one can go back. Always have yourself an assortment of funnels. And keep them hidden so the other workers can't use them on you. On the base support, I'll have to have a look. Okay, so that's been cleaned. I dumped that out, dumped out the old oil. There's Mobil DTE 732. That's what we use. And I've decanted it in this. You notice it's got a Wemyss label on it, because that's what you need when you decant from a large vessel into a small one, a small bottle. You need to put a label on it, a workplace label, as they would call them. See how we're doing here. It doesn't take much oil. Nice clean oil. So whatever the pump calls for, whatever oil you're pumping is the oil you should put in it. And that's why I'm using 732. Okay. Put a lid on it. You don't want to spill oil everywhere. And off to the side. And it should be, hold on, grab this, move it over a bit. There we go. Put the lid back on. Clean that. Clean up around the motor. Check the coupling. Check the bearing to make sure it's okay. Feels good. Lots of cleaning. You always got to do lots of cleaning. Clean those fins out. You want them to be able to dissipate the heat. Got to bounce. Okay, David. Hey, thanks for hanging out, man. Good to see you. Hope to see you next time, too. Have yourself a great night. And did I get a shot of the pump label? Yes, I didn't. I thought I did. It's a, for those that want to know, it's a Dean pump. I don't know if Godzillionaire, if you've heard of these guys before, but seem to be okay. Yeah, Dean Pump Division. Really good pump. I'm happy with them. It does a good job. Let's see. Manufactured in the United States of America. Dean Pump Division, established 1969. Can't quite read that. Geez, I thought I got a picture of that. Let me check here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Still not done yet, fellas. You got to clean the guard, too. Looks awful. Covered in dust and dirt and oil residue. So, clean the guard as well. Nothing wrong with cleaning the guard off. There we go. So you clean the outside of it, and then you clean the inside, because look at that. That's filthy as well. Nothing wrong with cleaning it. Clean that up. Rag's getting pretty dirty. Should have just enough to finish this off. There we go. Just a little bit left. Give her a shot of brake cleaner. Yeah, brake cleaner is good stuff. If you guys haven't used brake clean before, it's really good. It's really potent. Should always wear your respirator when you use it, because it's got some deadly compounds in there. But it cleans really well. Removes lots of oil. There we go. Let's put the guard back on. First, we'll put the vibration sensors on. As you can see, there's a little notch in there in the guard for the vibration sensor to sit. Line up the holes and use your kneeling pad because, you know, you want to save your knees. When you're working on stuff low to the ground, grab yourself a kneeling pad. Save your knees. They'll thank you when you're older. You won't be hobbling around wondering why you can't walk. Let me just put those in, started by hand. Get them all started first before you decide to tighten them down. There's a little tip for you. If you want your guard to be able to fit it in to where it's got to go, just get them started by hand and don't tighten them down right away. You get them started, and then once you have all 4 of them in, then you tighten them down with your ratchet or gear wrench, whatever you prefer. Switching up hands there, you know, left-handed, right-handed. There we go. And I believe I got one more to do, so I'll have to hunch over the guard. Put that oil away. Grab the other vibration sensor and put it on the motor. And that'll be able to tell if there's any bearing trouble or excessive vibrations coming from that motor, because that's important. It's a tool in your fight against failure. If you can detect vibrations or something that's unusual or larger than usual, then you know something's is going wrong. Bearing is failing or something. You hated designing replacement guards. People expected a newly fabricated housing to fit a 30 to 40-year-old base plate perfectly. Had to either oversize the holes or tell them just to match drill. Yeah, I would. I first of all, I wouldn't be one of those guys that would expect that Godzilla. I would have just been like, yeah, 1/2-inch holes. Okay, drill out 9/16, and that'll give us some wiggle room to get in and be able to fit in. And I mean, you can always use a fender washer to help you out if you need to cover the hole. Oh, that's terrible. That thing got right in the way there. There we go. I think I realized it and I moved my radio out of the way. There we go. Takes some getting used to with this body camera. But yeah, there we go. Tightening her up. Beat to fit, paint to match. That's what I never liked either, though. When we get stuff back from a shop or something, and they've painted over the bolts. It's like, why did you guys do that? Now you just made it incredibly hard for us to get this thing apart when we need to take it apart. You know, you always... There we are. Yeah, I decided to get a shot of it. The Dean Pump Division. It's an RA pump. There we go, cleaning up. Getting ready to head back to the shop. Take my lock off, and then that'll be good enough. There you have it, guys. A little bit of pump maintenance. Pump maintenance with Pop. All right, I think I'm going to wrap it up there, fellas. Enjoy a little bit of Hokkaido gals, because they are super adorable. But I just want to thank you guys for coming out today. You know, I know David had to leave already, but DJ Ronnie G, I thank you for coming. Salver, thank you for coming by. B17, Veritax. Godzillionaire, of course, everyone's favorite kaiju. And I think that was everybody. Anyways, yeah, if you weren't in the chat, if you were lurking and listening, I appreciate you coming by. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it, DJ. I thought it was a good talk as well. And don't forget, you guys, hey, working on your vehicles, take that extra time, use a jack stand, use wheel chocks. It'll save you. You don't want to be wrecked and gibbled for the rest of your life, or maimed. But if you guys could do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Spread the word, tell your friends, let them know old Pop's here. I'm here every Tuesday night and on the weekends. And when I'm not here, you can tune in to some of the other guys out there. People like Pacific 414. Or DJ Ronnie G, who's in the chat. He's got his Monday show on Thursday. We can also tune into Fabric Folds, who shows up late. Fabric, you're going to have to watch the whole thing from the beginning. Also, Chain Soldier Season 2 comes out in January. Are you excited as I am? But yeah, when I'm not on, watch Brandon the Anime Guy. Tune into him. Or Carl at the RNG Podcast. Or Punkwaddle, everyone's favorite penguin. There's also Infinite Metal. He's over on Kick and Twitch. Plays a lot of retro games. He's very entertaining. He's got a funny undead dragon lord that mocks and ridicules him as he plays games. It's just a howl. And there's also Call Me Kixie. She's a great VTuber who has a family-friendly atmosphere to her as she plays her indie games. Like, seriously, lots of fun on Saturdays. She's usually on. Yeah, you're excited, eh, buddy? Right on. Yep, Chain Soldier, Season 2, coming out in January. And coming up next, guys, on Saturday, I think it's going to be the last boss for Oracle of Ages. I'll be done that one, and I can start a new game. We'll have to see how long it takes me to get it, but I'm hoping to defeat the last boss of Oracle of Ages this Saturday. Be here. Come and see if it happens. Cheer me on, or ridicule me if I don't do it. Then on Sunday Anime Chat, the theme of November is sports. We've got lots of sports animes, and some you know, and maybe some you don't. Got to tune in and see which sports animes am I going to showcase for you. And the last week I was, what was it? I got it written down here. Oh yes, it was Tiger Mask. So that was all about wrestling and Eyeshield 21. And I'll tell you what, Eyeshield 21, that seems like one I would want to sit down and finish, because that looks like a good one. All about them playing American football. I should play Leisure Suit Larry next. Which one? There's like 6 of them. You want Land of the Lounge Lizards or Magna Cum Laude? Anyways, that's going on Sunday, Anime Chat. Sports animes, be there. And then on Tuesday, once again, Trades Talk. Come on in, guys. Next Tuesday is Remembrance Day in Canada and Veterans Day. So let's make sure we give thanks to our veterans who fought for what we have today. I think it's very important. Also, we had a very great being allies during the war. I think I'm very grateful to our American friends that we were on the winning team of being allies during World War II. That was excellent. I think we did really well together. So yeah, that's going on next Tuesday. And I'm actually taking Monday off because I don't want to just go to work and then have a holiday. So I'm taking an extra long weekend. 4-day weekend for Pop. So I think I need it. I'm going to have a nice long rest after all this shutdown nonsense. But yeah, that's it for me tonight, everybody. I had a fun time. I hope you did as well. Hope you learned a few things. And I had a great time talking with you all. And we'll just check the poll here. 86% work on your own vehicle. That's good. But like I said, you're going to work on your vehicle. Be careful. Chocks and jack stands. Don't get crushed like that guy that we saw on that accident report. Don't let that happen to you. It's a waste of a life. It's a terrible, what a bad, terrible way to go. Anyways, I had a good time, fellas. I hope you did too, and I hope to see you on the next time when I'm streaming, which will be on Saturday. But until then, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.